So I wanted to contribute myself. I was writing down and putting all the categories together. I ain't got no money, I ain't got no job blues, I ain't got no woman blues. And then I said, wait a minute. See, I don't want to waste no categories. I ain't got no money blues, I ain't got no job blues, I ain't got no woman blues. Hell, them the same thing. Because if I could get me a job, I could make me some money. I could call me a lady. I'd be doing a whole bunch better. So I put them all in the same category. But I wrote other pieces of blues information. Because what had happened was that I had found out later on, unfortunately, in my education about people like Langston Hughes, about people like Sterling Brown, about people like County Cullen and Gene Toomer and Claude McKay. And these people had taken the blues as a poetry form back in the 20s and the teens during the Harlem Renaissance, and they had fine-tuned the blues. They had sanded it down so that it became a remarkable sort of an art form.
My name is Rodney Green. I've been recording for 25 plus years. I'm an artist, drummer, composer, producer, and teacher. The idea kind of been floating around in my head. Oh man, it'd be cool to like play over. At first it started as like a Martin Luther King speech, kind of like when Max did with I Have a Dream. That was the first thing. We're asking too much of our audience. Like, people have this thing where they say, a singer will say to a drummer, play some colors. And what they mean is that the drummer is supposed to play cymbals in a certain sort of way that over time has become colors, right? But what it actually is just a drummer just playing rubato or freely on cymbals. It's not actual colors. And in this world where people have cell phones and they have iPads, I mean, I have an iPad where I do sound design on my iPad. Programs, some of the programs I use today, I did on the iPad. Some of the songs you hear on the radio were done on an iPad on an airplane. Like, we live in an amazing time. So why are drummers still going for colors? Like, there's a million ways to get real textures, real colors, real life sounds and things. And so this idea that started with me just wanting to play a speech transformed into me wanting to update. I mean, I love jazz music, but I feel like we hadn't updated some of the things about jazz in quite a long time. Like the work ethic along with the talent. Like, talent is nothing. Like, if you don't have the work ethic and some hipness, some cleverness, or whatever, like, if you can't marry those three things, we don't have anything. All the people on the session today, you know, Nicole, she's got a strength and talent, and she perseveres. I mean, she played a gig with me after she crashed her car. She's driving, you know, it was snowing and she's new to driving, and she called me early in the day and she was like, you know, we're gonna play tonight. And I was like, yeah, we're gonna play. And I was like, okay, baby sister's like a little nervous. And sure enough, she beat me to the gig, but she was like, she crashed her car and she was like, you know, I think it's okay. I think I can make it. And I was like, wow, like the dedication, you know. So yeah, I like that. I mean, Dean Torrey, who I've affectionately dubbed as Elvis Freshly, driving the missus to the ferry or whatever, and Elvis Freshly calls me. I said, I gotta say goodbye and I'll talk to him. So he's like, I'm sick. I'm sick. I said, man, it's your nerves. I'm teasing him and joking with him. And then today, during the second to last take, we were doing one of my new things, a kind of African kind of thing I'm calling New Groove for now. We're playing, and I heard this noise from Dean. I thought he spilled his drink or something. I thought he had a drink in the room with him, but he like threw up, man. He's like, and I was about to stop the take, and he was like, no, keep going. And he played through the take, man. So he really did have food poisoning. Chris, the piano player, super hip, super intelligent. He's working on the future of the piano, or a future way to deal with that instrument. And so, it's a good group. I need that energy. Yeah, I don't want to be bored. I refuse to be bored. And I feel like as an artist, you receive whatever it is first. So if you're bored, if you don't like what's happening, imagine how the person who spent $30 feels. So for me, it's super important that I tell the guys all the time, why should anyone pay attention to us? They got the world in their pocket. They pull out their cell phone. They can see anything. You watch TV shows, blah, blah, blah. Why should you leave your house, spend your hard-earned money on gas, get treated like cattle in some of these clubs? They really herd you and they make you wait in a line and whatever. If you're not going to be taken on a real trip, So I already have that drive. And I need like-minded individuals that can see, if I'm looking over there, they got to look over there and let me know what's going on over there. I can't look over there and over here, so that's why I have the people around me. That's why I have the team of people who remind me to do that. Oh, think about this. Oh, record this. Don't record that. Oh, people really love it when you do this part, or, et cetera, et cetera. Plus my curiosity. I mean, this whole project started with me thinking it would be cool. The funny thing is, the thing I set out to do in the beginning, I don't even do with this whole project. I set out to do a revive or reworking of Max Roach did a thing on Martin Luther King, I Have a Dream, and he had the speech play and he played a drum solo.
That all men are created equal.
And so I thought it would be cool to do a reworking or a new version of that. That was the idea. I don't even do that now. What I do is so far removed from that. That was the initial approach. So I got my own drives and determinations, things that I really want to see, be in this music that everyone keeps attacking and saying is dead or whatever, Oh, people, they just do the same thing, blah, blah, blah. I'd like to prove that the spirit is alive and that you can look forward and keep the integrity and the tradition of the thing that America's, only complete art form that we, offer to the world. Jazz music. What else have we offered that goes all around the world like that? Or at least what's the first one, So I want to keep it alive.
If you feel like clapping, please clap your feet. If you feel like clapping your hands, clap your hands. If you feel like taking off your shoes, take off your shoes. We are here to have a ball.
Being unhappy with the trio quartet format, Rodney Green trio and Rodney Green quartet. Just doesn't say anything about the music or the band. So Jackson Miller is something that's very personal to me. Jackson was the name of my longtime employer and arguably one of the greatest bass players to ever do it, Mr. Charlie Hayden. His dog was Jackson. He loved his dog, as lots of people love their dogs. His dog was named Jackson, and so he can oftentimes be heard saying Solid Jackson or things of that nature. And Mr. Mulgrew Miller started hiring me when I was about 16 years old after seeing me in a music competition, which was interesting. I lost to Shedrick Mitchell, who is now the organist with Mulgrew Miller and stuff, and I wound up living in his building. That's a whole other thing. But I met Mulgrew Miller and Buster Williams and Victor Lewis all on that day. 3 people who would be very important to me. So Jackson Miller, that's my band. I'm very happy and excited about them, and I hope you check us out. Thank you.
Tonight we begin an ongoing series of reports which will air occasionally over the next year on a single topic. We'll be covering poverty in America, an effort supported by the Ford Foundation. Tonight we begin with the poorest city in the nation and the most dangerous city all in the same place. It's Camden, New Jersey, right across from Philly. Camden is a city of 77,000, a place most people avoid or take pains to drive by, a place I first covered 25 years ago. And as we found upon our return there, the story of Camden cannot be avoided anymore.
Until just recently, I feel like I'm kind of hitting my stride in that it's okay to say it's my band, I'm going to play out front and I'm going to play a long drum solo in the middle. And I also feel good to say, Nicole, you got it, or this person has it. And that's one of the reasons why I started to develop where I am now, where I want my intros to have more color and texture. And so, I got the one song I wrote for Paul Motion, which is an anagram of his name, A Tulip's Moon, where I have these bells and gongs that ring. And so it's not like drum, 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 drum. It's like I create it's like a sound design, landscape kind of thing that I do, where technically it's an intro from me, but I feel like it can occupy the same sort of space as like a piano intro with colors and textures and things, So yeah, it had been negative, but I think now maybe it'll be positive now that I'm 40.
Remarkable sort